Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dave TV for Thursday, the 29th of November, 2012. Excuse me, I'm just reading my Washington Post this morning. I'm catching up on all the news I read 2 or 3 days ago on the internet. It's funny, Lisa DeMaray's column. This woman should have retired a decade ago, man. Come on, Lisa, hang it up. I mean, it was 2.5 Men, Angus Jones controversy where he's dissing the show, the little kid from the show. I mean, I read this like 2 or 3 days ago on the internet, and it's just like, oh, it's in today's paper. So, Post will tell you what happened 2 or 3 days ago. They got it. I tell you, especially with this style section, man, something's really wrong with this paper, man. Look at the. It's this reliable source column. It has nothing in it, but they just pad it out with big pictures just to make it. They have nothing to fill. It's like there's it's lots of big pictures, very little copy. Movie listings, comics. There's nothing in this style section. It's literally a 22-second read, and you're like, okay, recycle bin. And then we're hearing there's going to be big cuts at the Washington Times. I mean, is that paper even still around? Jeepers creepers. I mean, come on. I'm out of focus. Nobody reads it anymore. If you're conservative, you read that crappy little Examiner thing, which is free. So who's paying for the Washington Times? I mean, the Washington Times practically went belly under 2 years ago, and then it came back, and now it's going belly under again. I don't know, man. It's like, just go away. If the Washington Post, which is still a fairly major paper, is, can't make it, how are they going to do it? They were talking about putting up the Post paywall, putting up a paywall. A lot of websites, a lot of newspapers nowadays are putting up a paywall, meaning, you have to pay to use the website, or subscribe to the print edition and they give you some kind of a deal. Like the Baltimore Sun does that. If you go to the Baltimore Sun, they count. It has some little cookie thing that counts the number of times you visit the page. And then like the 10th time you visit the site or whatever, it hits you with this little box saying, hey, pay up. But you can get around that real easy by just using different browsers. Or, you can click on the little stop load tab at the top of your browser before the whole page loads so that you don't get the browser thing. The paywall nag. There's ways of doing it. But anyhow, a lot of papers are doing that now. And they were talking about the Washington Post doing that. The Wall Street Journal does that. The New York Times does that. Why isn't the Washington Post do it? Well, because the Washington Post isn't the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are magnificent papers these days. I mean, they really are. They're pillars of journalism, and I really think they are in a special case where they can charge for what they offer. The Washington Post has become kind of a mediocre-ish rag lately. It's kind of straddling between a kind of a mediocre local rag, and they still have a little glint of greatness there in some of their A-section international coverage, but the paper has really taken it on the chins the last couple days, and the last couple years, and I just don't know. Would people really seriously pay for the Washington Post website when they can get a lot of that news on WTOP.com or local radio station news websites or on a lot of other news websites in the Washington area? They can get all that political news at Politico.com. There's a lot of places in the Washington area, Patch.com, where you can get all that news elsewhere. May not be in all one place, but it's all freely available there, and I think that's one of the problems the Post would have if they did put up a paywall. There's a lot of other news sources around that would gain readily. Okay, so what's today's big news? The big news today, the radio ratings came out yesterday for November, and we posted them on DC. I posted them. I don't know why I say we. It's just me. That's all it is. Me here on DCRTV. I posted them on DCRTV.com, the 6 pluses, which are the beauty contest numbers. Basically, it's a good way of showing where all the stations rank, but it's not really something that a lot of advertisers use because, advertisers in radio and in other media are looking at targeting demos. You know, they want to reach 30-year-old women, or they want to reach 50-year-old men, or they want to reach teenagers, girls, or whatever. They don't give a hoot about everybody. You know, very few ads are geared to everybody. So, you know, those numbers, they're an interesting way of showing where everybody stands. And basically, where, you know, WAMU is at the top, as it has been. WTOP is second place. WNEW is down around 24th or 25th. Stuff like that. Check it out. Go to DCRTV.com if you want to see all the numbers. Well, you probably are there because you're looking at my stupid Dave TV. So it's all there on the front page. But I'm going to take a look at the money demo, the 25-54 numbers. That's a little bit more of what advertisers are targeting. You know, it doesn't look at people over 54. Okay, because most advertisers don't care about those people. They've already made their decisions. They know which kind of antacid they're going to take, which kind of walker they're going to need. I'm sorry. But anyhow, so anyhow, the 25-54 money demo. So let's take a look at some of the trends there, shall we? Let's move this over so I see. Okay, 6-minute mark. So I want to get through this quick. Hot 99.5 at the top. Okay? And, you know, they've been trending toward the top. They're good. They're solid. Kane is third in mornings. So that's, you know, where they should be. TOP is second place in the money demo. It's second place, yeah. First place in the mornings, second place in afternoon drive. HUR is in third place with Steve Harvey in fourth in the mornings. WAMU is fourth place. Now, here's the deal with WAMU in fourth place. Their first place when it comes to 6 pluses, and that's because skewing old. They have a lot of listeners like WMAL that are over 54 years old. So when you look at the beauty contest total numbers, they do very well. When you cut off the 54 and older listeners, they drop a bit. But they're still fourth place, and that's damn good for a public radio news talker. Second place in mornings, third place in afternoons. KYS does very well in the money demo. Fifth place. Russ Parr also in fifth place. MMJ, both Radio 1 stations there. Sixth place in the money demo, 25-54. Seventh place in mornings with Tom Joyner. Wash, seventh place. Lou and Laurie in eighth. Now, watch with this Christmas music coming up now. They will shoot up to number 1. They always do. I predict it, and I'll be right. Fresh, the money demo does very well also. 8th place, Tommy McFly. Spanking time, 14th place. Got to do better than that. DC 101, 9th place in that money demo with Elliott in 6th place. And rounding out the top 10, Praise, Radio 1's commercial gospel station at 104.1, 10th place. PGC also tied at 10th place with Pablo and Free in 13th place. So they're, you know, nice to see CBS has at least one station in the top 10 in the Washington market. Congratulations, Steve Swenson. Gold star for your forehead. Big at 12th place. Down a bit. Their classic hits rock, whatever you want to call it. Classic schlock. Cumulus top-rated, their top-rated stations, 12th place, their Mix 107.3 with Jack Diamond in 9th, performing admirably. Christian Contemporary WGTS at 14th place, which is pretty good for them. 15th place, El Zol. They're not doing too badly with the 107.9 signal. They're certainly doing better than they did originally. MZQ kind of not doing so hot these days, down to 16th place with Boxer also in 16th place in the money demo. Here's MAL at 17th place. Again, MAL did pretty well in the 6+ numbers, way into the top 10 this time. But when you, as I say, they skew old like AMU and WETA do. They skew old, and when you don't count those over 54 listeners, they do much more poorly. 12th place for that Mornings on the Midget Mall. 14th place in middays with Rush, and 14th place with Hamity. 18th place, JFK. 11th place for the Junkies. 19th place for their rival Sports Talker TEM, ESPN 980, with 20th place there for Mike and Mike. WDCN, the Spanish station on 87.7, 20th place. Wink FM, 21st, out in Winchester. Free Country there in Frederick at 22nd in the Money Demo. Then we get Baltimore station, ERQ, at 23rd place in the Washington Metro in the Money Demo, tied with WIDA FM Classical. And finally, here we go, WNEW, 25th place in the Money Demo, 23rd place in the mornings, 26th place in the afternoons. So there we go. All right, folks. As I say, I really think WNEW exists for one reason, and that is to get Hubbard to sell CBS WTOP. And it's a drip, drip, drip. You know, it's a drip, drip, drip thing. And in a way, it's been a little bit successful in this first year because TOP is no longer always a #1 station. It's often second or third place. So there. And they're going to bring the price of it down. The longer WNEW runs, you know, it'll get a little stronger next year. Maybe we'll start approaching the 20th place mark. It's finally getting to the top 20. I wouldn't be surprised. And TOP will maybe drop down to 3rd or 4th place. And you know, and Hubbard will say, you know, the only place we're going is down. Maybe we ought to just get out while the getting's good and sell the station. I'm telling you, one of these days, whether it's going to be 2013 or 2014, you're going to read on DCR TV, I told you so, Hubbard decides to sell WTOP to CBS. And then, boom, they'll have a big parade for Steve Swenson. Dan Mason will bring him into the realm of evil knighthood there at the CBS round table. All right, folks, that's Dave TV for the 29th of November, 2012. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to help support the site. We really need your support. This is our whole staff. See them all working back there? There they all are. Battle the evil media bistro. Billy single-handedly taking on the Washington Post. God. Thanks for watching. Book 'em, Dano.